Hey guys, this is Abhishek from gadgetstools.com, and today we are going to talk about the Samsung Galaxy S5. Samsung Galaxy S5 was launched by Samsung India sometime back for a price of approximately 51,000 to 53,000. However, this device is available in the market as of now in India, and it is available for an MRP of 50,500 rupees, which is definitely a very high price which you may like to pay for a smartphone of this kind. As far as the overall configuration of the Samsung Galaxy S5, it is slightly different. I have been using the Samsung Galaxy S5 for more than a day now, and again I'm pretty happy with the overall performance this device actually offers. As far as gaming is concerned, as far as day-to-day usage scenarios is concerned, the camera on the device is also performing pretty well. So these are all the initial things I would like to say. Again, I would say more things once we do the unboxing and once I do the full review of this device later on. So as of now, I would like to say this device, as far as hardware is concerned, is slightly different. This device is not the Snapdragon 801 chipset 2.5 GHz processor, but it has the Samsung Exynos chipset, which is again a combination of two quad-core processors, and again it is a real octa-core as per Samsung. That means all the 8 cores on the phone should be working at the same time. And that is something we are going to test in the overall performance of this device in the benchmark review, which I'm going to do very soon. So we are going to test whether this device is actually an octa-core phone in which all the cores are actually working at the same time whenever you are running any application. So we will test it with the benchmark figures. As of now, we might test it with some games as well, which actually use 8 cores CPU. So that is something which we are going to do. Apart from that, if we talk about this device as far as the overall features are concerned, this is how the display look like. The display is a full high definition display, and it is pretty colorful display. That is something I would like to say initially. It has got a super clear LCD display, and which is definitely good in terms of the overall colors. However, the colors on this display look very good, but they are a little bit oversaturated. That is something I can say initially. As far as the hardware features are concerned, it has got a heart sensor as well, which we are going to test whether this heart sensor is actually that much worth, and whether you can track the heartbeat on other Android phones with the help of camera, which we have seen with some application which are there on Android platform. That is something which we are going to test on this device, how good the heart rate sensor is when it comes to the overall performance, how accurate it is. We are also going to test the fingerprint sensor on the device, which is there behind the home button. So this fingerprint sensor can also be used to unlock the phone. This can also be used for making payments on PayPal and some other platforms on which it is going to be supported. So this is how the overall scenario will look like. So as far as the overall device look like in terms of the build is pretty good. However, it is again plastic. So we are going to come with more views on this device as far as what is the hardware all about, how good the camera is, and what all things you get within the package of the phone as well. Now going ahead with the unboxing of Samsung Galaxy S5, let me just unbox this device for you. First of all, let's take a look over the package. The package is again made of recycled paper, as we have seen earlier. At the back side of the box, we have the specifications of this device mentioned. This is the Samsung Galaxy S5 16GB model which we have. And again, when it comes to the 3G, it supports 42.2 Mbps of download on 3G and 5.76 Mbps of upload. And again, this device does not support 4G as of now, but Samsung has plans to launch Samsung Galaxy S5 with 4G support, but not now. Maybe by the later end of this year they will come up with the 4G version as well. It has got a full high definition display. It is a Super AMOLED display. Sorry, it is not a Super LCD display. It is Super AMOLED display, and I would like to correct this. You have a combination of 2 quad-core processor, 1.9 GHz quad-core, 1.3 GHz quad-core, and both of these processors actually come from Samsung only, because you have an Exynos chipset on this device. You have 16 megapixel of rear camera, autofocus supported, and it is pretty fast in terms of the overall focus it does. When it comes to the front, you have 2 megapixel fixed focus camera, and we will test that as well. And when it comes to certification, it has got IP67 certification. That means it is water and dust resistance, so you can actually submerge the phone inside water and it will still keep on working, and you can do it for 30 minutes maximum before you actually damage the phone. When it comes to GPS, you do have assisted GPS and GLONASS support on this device, so GPS navigation works perfectly fine, and I have tested that. You have a smart remote application as well, which works on the basis of the IR blaster which we have on this device, which And here we have the Samsung Galaxy S5, which looks decent in terms of the overall look and feel. However, it does not look very much different from the Samsung Galaxy S4, which we have seen earlier. The kind of design which they have on this one as well is very similar to the previous series. There is no major difference as far as the overall design of this phone compared with the earlier version of the flagship phone from Samsung, which was Samsung Galaxy S4. But in terms of the overall, you can say the kind of back cover it has, it is different. You have a better camera, heart rate sensor, and a fingerprint sensor as well on this device. So all these things actually makes this device slightly better. So we will take a look over the device later on. Let's take a look what we have in the package apart from the device. Inside the package we get some user manuals, as you can see. So we have the quick start guide, the warranty card, you have the important customer information, you have the disposal guide, some pamphlet, and you have the SAR values of the device mentioned. As you can see, it is 0.637 weight per kg head SAR values. And then we have another pamphlet from Samsung. Apart from this, we have all these things which come within the package. You have in-ear headphones. These are the same kind of headphones which you get with Samsung Galaxy S4 as well. They are white in color with this version. I'm not sure what color you will get for other versions of Samsung S5, but they look pretty good in terms of the overall build quality and the kind of audio they have. We will just tell you about that as well. Again, when it comes to the module which is responsible for controlling the volume, you have a button over here to increase and decrease the volume, and a button to pick the call. You have a mic as well in this module. Here we have the gold plated 3.5mm audio jack, which looks pretty good. And again, apart from this, we have the charger, which is a fast charger, and you get 2 ampere of current coming out from this charger, output current. And apart from this, we have some extra earbuds, and we have the data cable, which is surprisingly not the USB 3.0 data cable. However, the port which we have on the Samsung Galaxy S5 at the bottom is USB 3.0. So this port can actually provide you faster charging as well as faster data transfer speed. But again, the kind of data cable which comes within the package is not high speed. It is the normal micro USB to USB cable, but you can always buy the faster data cable for this device separately from the market. At this price point, they have not actually bundled the faster data cable, which is something which is surprising because this phone is already very highly priced in the market. So these are all things which we have in the package. So let's take a look over the device now. So the overall sound quality which you get from these headphones which come within the package, these are in-ear headphones, is pretty good. The bass levels is also pretty good, but not too high. The loudness or the clarity, you can say, from these earphones is pretty good. You have different earbuds as well for different ear sizes. You can actually use these buds. You can replace these one with these one which we have extra. So in all, the overall sound quality on these headphones is much better than the regular Android phones which we have seen, where we have seen the same kind of look and feel in-ear headphones, but these one are actually better in terms of sound quality as compared to those, as well as in terms of build quality. They are much better. And you also have a volume rocker button with which you can actually control the volume, whereas on other Android phones which we have seen, we do not see this volume rocker button, but this one has it. Now, as you can see here, we have the Samsung Galaxy S5, and before we talk about the overall look and feel, the hardware of this device, I would like to tell you some of the changes which they have done with Samsung Galaxy S5 as compared to S4. So Samsung Galaxy S5 has a physical home button, whereas this is not only a physical home button, but it also acts as a fingerprint sensor. Apart from this, when we talk about touch capacitive buttons which are there within the body of the phone, over here and over here, the menu key has been replaced with the multitasking key, as you can see. So we have a multitasking key over here which actually behaves in certain way that whenever you tap on it, it will bring up the multitasking menu. For example, if you have certain applications running, for example, if I have opened Play Store or camera and some other applications, for example email as well, and once I minimize it and go back to the home screen, so the moment you tap on this key, it will bring up the multitasking menu, which will be like this. And again, as you might have seen, there was a notification that how you can actually use this key as a menu key. In order to use this key as a menu key, you have to actually tap and hold so that it brings up the options which are related to the menu. So this is how you can actually use the same key as a multitasking key as well as a menu key. This is something which they have done. Apart from this, when it comes to the top, we have the same kind of metallic earpiece, some proximity and ambient light sensors over here, the front camera. The rear camera on the device is the 16 megapixel camera, which is also an improvement. It is an autofocus camera. You have a heart rate sensor over here, and again, when we talk about the loudspeaker is actually at the back side, and it is actually not a very good design placement for the loudspeaker, because it will get blocked whenever you place this device like this on a table, so the sound will get muffled. Apart from this, the phone dialer supports both the landscape as well as the portrait mode, and you do have the option of making a video call from the phone dialer itself. In terms of the overall build quality, again, the Samsung Galaxy S5 is another plastic phone, but it does not feel you can say cheap in terms of the overall plastic or the material which has been used. The back cover is actually made up of some kind of plastic which has a matte finish to it, but the kind of look and feel it gives you, it has some kind of glossy look. However, this is the white version, but if you actually take a closer look, you will see the golden color reflection from the back side of this back cover. That is one difference. Apart from this, if we take a look on the edges, we have the chrome grille, which is actually good, give a very good grip for you as well whenever you hold the device in one hand, because you have these linings which are actually kind of little bit above the edge, so it gives you a better grip when you hold the device in one hand. As far as the buttons are concerned, you have metal button for the power and sleep key. There is a metal button for the volume rocker as well, and both of these buttons actually give you good amount of feedback as well. On the top, you have the infrared blaster. You have a microphone over here, which is the secondary microphone for noise cancellation and video chat. You have a 3.5mm audio jack. At the bottom, you have the micro USB port, which is actually the USB 3.0 port, and they have actually covered it with a flap so that the water does not go inside. Again, the Samsung Galaxy S5 is IP67 certified, that it is water resistant and you can say dust proof as well to an extent, not completely. And when we take a look over the back cover, and if we remove the back cover, we can see some more things on the phone. So we have the battery over here, which is the 2800 mAh battery. You have the SIM card slot over here, and on the top of the SIM card slot you have the micro SD memory card slot as well to expand the storage. And when we talk about the back cover has this rubber lining, which is actually a kind of protection which they have used in case the water falls on this device from the back side. This rubber lining will actually prevent the water from entering the circuit, so that is why they have this rubber lining, as you can see. Now, taking a look over the software is again TouchWiz UI, and again it feels much more faster as compared to the previous TouchWiz UI which we have seen. It has become also very simple in terms of the look. The colors are no longer very sharp on this particular theme, and the icons are also not very much highlighted on this device. That is something we can say. There are very simple icons with this very simple design. They does not look the 3D icons which we might have seen earlier on some of the Samsung Galaxy phones which we have seen. So this one, in terms of the overall look and feel, is much simple, much you can say very simple UI, very subtle kind of a color which they have actually adopted this time. And when we talk about the other things, we do have these notification center which was already there as well, but the kind of iconography which I see as far as the toggles are concerned, they have actually make it much more rounded to make them look different, and they are very simple. They have some text and a symbol to actually understand what it is. You have control over here for the brightness, with which you can set the brightness to auto as well, and I would recommend you to do this because this will save a lot of battery. You have quick shortcuts for the quick connect and the S Finder. You can customize these shortcuts as well, and we will tell that in a separate video, or in this video itself we will tell you that. And as far as other notifications are concerned, they will come over here, and there is already a software update which is available on this device, and again this software update has already been downloaded, so I just need to install it. So again we will tell you how to install software update on this device. Apart from this, let's take a look over the settings and show you some of the things of the device. So here we have the settings, and settings menu this time is very simple. It is in the form of icons, not in the form of a list which we have seen earlier, which actually makes it very easy to identify which option is for what. Now here we have all the system settings, and first of all let me just show you some of the storage details for this device. So we have the 16GB model as of now, and 16GB model you have around system memory which is around 4.43GB, and you have a use space of 3.95GB. So the total available memory on this device out of the box, and again we have installed a couple of applications and games as well, some high definition games. So as of now the available memory is around 6.78, whereas you can get around 9 GB approximately available on this device, 9 to 8 GB available on this device out of the 16 GB version, which is again not very high, because the system memory and the TouchWiz UI actually take a lot of memory on this device as far as inbuilt memory is concerned. But you do have support for SD card, so you can expand the storage of the device with the help of an SD card, which does not come within the package. You have to buy it on your own. You also have a power saving mode, as you can see, and again the power saving mode this time is slightly different. This is the normal power saving mode which we have seen earlier, which will actually block the background data refresh for certain applications, and you can actually restrict the performance of the device as well by limiting the CPU, limiting the screen brightness, and turn off the touch key light duration. These keys which actually light up whenever you use them, you can actually disable that, and you can also turn off GPS as well to actually save a lot of battery. So once you enable the power saving mode, these are all the things which will happen. There are some new things as well, that the color will go to gray. So basically, whenever the device, when it comes to the display, this device has the overall battery is much more consumed from the display part. So if they actually dull the display, and if they decrease the brightness of the display, you can actually save much more battery. So this is how you can save battery on this device. You also have a ultra power saving mode, which actually is a kind of a mode in which you can actually make sure that the device will last for much higher in terms of the overall battery backup as compared to the normal time. For example, we have 46% of battery on this device, and as of now, if we enable the ultra power saving mode, we will get around 5 to 7 days of battery backup. But once we enable this mode, the device will go into ultra power saving mode, in which we cannot actually use any application. The display of the device will also go black and white, or it will go colorless, and in this way you can actually use the phone either for phone calling, for messaging, or for basic things like internet usage. You won't be able to use applications which are installed on this device like Facebook and other things, but again you can do it with the browser. You can again add multiple other applications like these, which are the current supported applications, but these are only the application which you will be able to use in ultra power saving mode. In this mode, the device will conserve the battery in such a way that you can actually get much higher battery backup as compared to the normal scenario. So in case you are running out of critical battery and you need to attend an important call, you should always enable this ultra power saving mode. Now one more thing which is enabled by default on the Samsung Galaxy S5, and this is an association of Samsung and Google. They have actually enabled Google Now on this device. So once you say OK Google, it will open the Google Now, and let me just demo you for that. OK Google, what is the weather right now in Delhi?
It's 32 degrees with haze in Delhi.
One more feature which has been added on Samsung Galaxy S5, I'm not sure whether this feature was already available, but they have added this feature called Find My Mobile. This is a feature which is supported through Samsung again. This is the service. You just need to go to this URL and you can find your lost Samsung Galaxy S5, and you can locate it on GPS. Whereas as far as the physical location is concerned, you can find that wherever your phone is once it is lost or stolen from you. So one thing which is important to the feature which I just highlighted, that is Find My Mobile. You cannot use this feature unless you have a Samsung account, unless you create a Samsung account on the Samsung Galaxy S5. You should be signed in with that Samsung account on this phone before you can actually use this feature to locate your phone. Another feature which is related to this feature again, which you can always enable, that is called the reactivation lock. That means if someone has actually found your phone and they would try to reset your device in order to configure it again and use it, in that case they won't be able to do it unless they actually provide the password, which is actually the Samsung account password which you have on this phone. Unless they actually enter the password which is there on this device, as far as the Samsung account is concerned, they won't be able to reset the phone, they won't be able to configure anything on the phone, they won't be able to use the phone for calling or for anything. One more feature of this phone, which is called the private mode, it actually allows you to make sure that the device has limited functionality. And in order to configure this mode, first of all you need to open the private mode like this, and then you need to go next, and these are all the applications which one can use within the private mode. They will not be able to access any other application apart from these which were highlighted. And once you configure it, you can actually set a pattern, a pin password, or you can actually set the fingerprint as well for entering the private mode. So this way you can actually configure your phone in such a way that even if you give it to someone else, you will be assured that they will not be able to use the application which you may not want them to use. One more feature which was already there on the Samsung Galaxy S4 as well, but this time it has become much simple to use, especially in case you feel that the device has pretty big display, which is 5.1 inch. You may not be able to reach every part of the screen with one hand. So in that case, you can actually make the screen go smaller, and you just need to do this gesture in order to make it small. So this is how the screen will get smaller, and then in that case you will be able to use the phone with one hand without any issues, and this will be very useful in many scenarios out there. You can do it for the left hand as well as for the right hand. As per your preference, you can do it. Now taking a look over the display settings, we have all these options supported. You do have support for automatic brightness, which we already told you. You also have the screen rotation, which you can rotate. So in case you enable the smart rotation feature, you can actually make sure that whenever you are in bed and you are reading the phone display like this, the screen will not rotate to the landscape mode, so that you can keep on reading in that particular orientation as well. Just like an iPhone, you also have cloud storage supported from Samsung, and it is free. For example, if you have configured any account on this device, I have configured with the Google account as of now, you can actually take the backup on the phone using cloud storage. So you can actually have the storage with the help of the Samsung storage settings. You can actually back up everything on the device, including application, phone logs, messages, SMS, MMS, both. You can also back up the configuration as far as the wallpaper which you have set on the devices. On this particular device, you also can configure the priority senders. You can actually configure anything to be backed up with this particular solution, which is provided on the Samsung Galaxy S5, and it was not there before even on Samsung Galaxy S4. You can also link your Dropbox account as well, the option to configure default applications. So once you go over here under the setting, you can actually select which launcher. If you have installed any specific launcher on Samsung Galaxy S5 and you are not happy with the TouchWiz UI, you can always reset the clear defaults. Basically from here you can reset the TouchWiz UI to be the home launcher or the default launcher on this device. You can configure it over here, so all the launcher which you will install will appear over here. You can also configure which application which you would like to use for primary for messaging. You can, by default it is going to be the messages application which is from Samsung, but you can actually change it to Hangouts, and even with third-party application you can actually change the default messaging application on the phone. New options which are there on the device is the music effects. Under sound settings you will find these options. These are some advanced options with which you can actually specify different kind of music effects which you can apply on the current music track which you have on the phone. You can apply these two effects, and you can actually download more effects like these from Samsung App Store. The new TouchWiz UI actually have the shortcut to launch the camera application directly from the lock screen. So you just need to swipe it like this and the camera application will get launched, and then you can take a photo quickly. Now taking a look over the camera interface, as you can see, this is how the camera interface look like. It has very good fast autofocus, which it does. You can tap to focus, and either you have the object which is there in the center, it will automatically have that object focused for you. So it will do the autofocus pretty quickly, as you can see. And let me just take this photo as of now for you. So we have taken this photo as of now in a room with some artificial light, and let me just turn off this artificial light, and let's find out how does the photo actually come out without the artificial light. This is the kind of scenario which you can actually expect to have in a low light scenario. Basically, let me just take this photo again. So we have the same photo over here. We will take a look over these two photos one by one. The first photo is this one, as you can see, which is taken with the artificial light. It is pretty good. The pinch to zoom, I would say, is much more fluid. It has become much more responsive as compared to the previous TouchWiz UI which we have seen, which is definitely a good thing. Now once we zoom into the photo, the amount of details and the colors which have been captured are almost identical to the object which is over there if we actually compare it with the light scenario. However, the overall color production is slightly different. It is a little bit oversaturated, that is something I can say, but still it looks good. And once you zoom in, you can see good amount of details as well. But the photo which we have taken in low light, or maybe this one, this is the photo which we have taken in low light. As you can see in this light scenario, because you have so much light coming from the display of the phone, which is my iPhone. That is why everything is kind of very much faded and not very white. But again, this photo looks pretty good as well in terms of the overall. You can say the colors it has captured, as well as in terms of the details as well. It looks pretty good. We have another shot which has been taken in which the phone brightness was not that much, but again in this photo as well, the photo looks good. But when we zoom in, you can see some amount of blurring, so the amount of details which can be captured will vary depending on the low light scenario you have. But the overall quality of the low light photo from this device looks pretty good. Taking a look over the hardware configuration of this phone, these are all the hardware details. The model number of the device is SMG900H. We do not have the name of the device mentioned over here as far as CPU is concerned, but again it comes from Samsung, but they have hidden the details of the CPU, but it is Adreno's CPU which we have seen from Samsung on this device. As far as the display is concerned, you have a full high definition resolution, that is 1080p into 1920. Refresh, it is 60 Hz, and then when it comes to the GPU, the GPU is coming out to be Mali T628, which is a pretty decent GPU, and the kind of scores which we have seen on the NinaMark and other benchmark utilities is pretty good. We will just show you those scores as well. As far as sensors are concerned, you have accelerometer sensor, gyro sensor, and then we have a magnetic field sensor as well on this device. You have uncalibrated magnetic field sensor. So there are all the required sensors which should be there on any smartphone out there for day-to-day usage for any application which you would like to use. There are some additional sensors as well, which includes the pedometer sensor, the heart rate sensor. Again, you can do a lot more as far as health tracking is concerned on this device because of these additional sensors which are there on this device, which we do not find on other phones, which includes the step detector, step counter. You have HRM sensor as well, which is the heart rate monitor sensor. You have other sensors like screen orientation, which is again a normal sensor which we see, but the heart rate sensor and the pedometer sensor and some other significant motion sensor are the sensor which are additional sensor which we see on this one. But on AnTuTu, this device has scored a pretty good score, and again I doubt this score because Samsung normally boosts their devices as far as the benchmark is concerned. That is something which we have known in the history. But again, this device has given a pretty good score. If we actually go by the benchmark score, the score is actually very good. This is 36529, which is a pretty decent score. We can see the details of this score as well: UX, RAM, CPU, and then you have GPU and input operation scores as well. As far as the ranking is concerned, let me just show you the ranking of this device as well in the form of a bar chart. So this device is even above Samsung Galaxy Note 3 and Xiaomi Mi 3, LG G2 as well. In terms of the overall benchmark score, it is actually at the top as of now. But again, let's see how the overall device performance is there when it comes to day-to-day usage, and I will tell you more in my full review as far as the overall benchmark scores are concerned, whether they actually mean the right thing, whether they actually mean that this device is actually powerful or not, or they are just the scores which we have seen earlier. On multi-touch, this device supports 10-point multi-touch, which is definitely a good thing. That means you can actually use large number of applications which actually require more than 2-point multi-touch to do many things on this device. So now we are playing a YouTube video from our channel, and as far as the YouTube video playback is concerned, the playback is pretty good. The viewing angles of the video are pretty good as well. You can see the display from extreme angles without any issues. There is slight amount of color fading which will happen at certain angles, but at most of the angles you should be able to see the colors as well pretty sharp and clear on this display. When it comes to the overall video quality at which this video is playing, this is a high definition video playing at high definition resolution, and let me just increase the volume of the video to full so that you can find out how good is the loudspeaker. So the loudspeaker is actually at the back side. And let's see what does happen when you place the device like this on a table whenever you are playing a video. So as you might have noticed, the sound get dull and it get muffled as well because the placement of the loudspeaker is actually at the back side. As far as the overall loudness which comes out from the loudspeaker, it is pretty loud, but it gets affected whenever you place the device like this on a table. But if you hold the device like this in your hand, the sound will get amplified with the help of your hand if you actually hold it like this. In this case, the loudspeaker will become slightly louder, but again, it is not the loudest loudspeaker which we have heard before. So in terms of the overall loudness, I would like to give this score a very average score. It is not too loud, but again, it is pretty clear, I would say. That is much more important than loudness. So that's all from us as far as the quick hands-on overview, some of the key features which we wanted to highlight for the Samsung Galaxy S4. We will also tell you about the other features as far as how does the heart rate sensor on this device works, how does the fingerprint sensor on the device works in separate videos. Do let us know if you have any specific question for this device. We would love to help you. You can like this video if this video helped you by clicking the like button below. You can subscribe to our YouTube video channel for more videos like this by clicking the subscribe button below. Thanks for watching this video. This is Abhishek signing off. Thank you.